So, hi everyone. Welcome to my Space Engineers new mod playtesting session. I'm Robot55. I've created this new mod for Space Engineer. It's called the Monomolecular Biofilament 3D Printer Gun Survival Edition. Don't leave space without it. Yes, so it's not one of your regular mod of creating a new spaceship or some super cool weapon or anything like that. It's actually a game mechanic mod, I would call it, I guess, which is aimed to make the beginner players experience more fun, less daunting, less scary and complex, and get the player who prefer more like of let's say Minecraft playstyle that you just start on your own. Um, so yeah, this is the idea here. What if you start on your own on a Earth-like planet, no ship, no base? Then what do you do? Well, if you play the game, uh, you probably already know there is not much you can do. The way space engineers work, for those of you who are not really that into it that yet, um, everything that you want to build or craft is made out of components. The only way to make components, actually, there are two ways. You can either uh, capture an enemy's base and grind down the base, disassemble it to components, and I guess you could get your components that way, but the usual way most players do it is you build an assembler, and the assembler is a magic machine that you put all your ingots in, all your iron and cobalt and whatever, and then it creates components for you. But in order to build an assembler, you need to create it from components. Yeah. So let's just talk about what we are seeing on the screen. I'm starting at my spaceship, at my spacesuit. No spaceship, no base anywhere, and I'm gonna have to survive on this planet using just the tools on me. So yeah, I'm careful not to use my jetpack at this stage because again, I'm in survival mode. I won't have any way to refill it, maybe for a long time. So I better save every drop of hydrogen that I can. From the looks of it, the sun is directly on top of me, and that means that when we land, we're going to have about half a day of daylight to create whatever we need to survive. That's crucial because we're going to need solar power. So yeah, the way you can begin scenarios on Space Engineers now is basically no matter what scenario you choose, you always start either with a base or some sort of ship, and those usually have an assembler in them, or they have enough other blocks and things in them that you can grind down for components and build an assembler and then build whatever you like. So if you don't have any of those, like in our scenario right now, you're pretty much stuck. You don't have any real way to progress unless you either attack enemy bases or loot the cyber dogs. But I don't like the cyber dogs. I turned them off in this scenario. I usually turn them off. Let's see. Sorry, I just have to concentrate here. Don't want to waste too much of my hydrogen. Don't want to die when I hit the ground. So yeah, that's, I guess, our first challenge is to land properly. and I think we're good. Let's save the game. Let's call it arrival. Let's call it landed. So yeah, we were talking about the cyberdogs. When you kill them, they randomly drop some components, but usually they will kill you a lot of times before you get any components out of them to build anything. Uh, the other thing is, well, it's not really fun. It's going to take a long time. The components drop randomly, and you don't feel like you create something on your own. Uh, and just, I hate the cyberdogs in general. I don't like them. So we've landed. I was having a look around. What I would do right now is we are in survival mode. So first of all, I would use my drill. The drill has a built-in ore detector. It has a small radius of about 50 meters that can detect ores in the ground. So, and ores is the very crucial thing. We need to find different metals and uranium and silicon in order to create anything, almost anything. So going back to this mod, as I will soon demonstrate as we will play test this together. I thought this is the year 2077 at least, right? So what if you had like a mobile handheld 3D printer gun, which basically functions as a 3D printer would now. It uses a filament to create stuff, some model out of a pre-existing blueprint. So, and then I said, what if in 2077 we could have what I like to call the monomolecular biofilament, or MBF for short, which is kind of like the regular filament you use in 3D printers now, except it's monomolecular and it has strands of molecules from every material. And basically, the gun can use this filament to create any type of material. So, of course, this filament is super expensive. You don't start with a lot of it. But yeah, it's going to be good for such a survival scenario. And then I said, what if this gun comes with some survival kit blueprints for stuff that you really need to survive on the planet, like a medical room, like an assembler, a few armor blocks, a real ore detector, antenna, and a bunch of small blocks that you could maybe use to create a very preliminary or a very simple Land Rover to explore around. Nothing fancy. Yeah, no ores in sight for now. If there were any, we would see a white marker like the red one that we see in front of me. That's actually an enemy base. But yeah, I'm keeping my eye out for a white one. Maybe I should run. Oh, another thing I forgot, you can see that my oxygen is dropping low. Taking my helmet off. This planet is an Earth-like planet. It has atmosphere, so no reason to waste that precious oxygen in my tank. Since there are no cyberdogs and I'm far from the nearest enemy base, so I don't pretty much face any danger like from hostile enemies, but my suit energy is running low all the time, and when it reaches 0, we'll die. So yeah, we'll have to do something about that soon. And since I don't seem to find any ores, I guess we're just gonna have to pick a spot and try to make a first camp. Yeah, it would be nicer if I find some, at least one type of ore. It's very handy when it's nearby to your base. So let's see. Yeah, so I used to play the starting scenario when you actually start with a planetary lander. And then you can strip it down, you can cannibalize the parts of the lander into building your own base and vehicles. And that's nice, but yeah, starting on your own without anything, I think it's a very important scenario, especially for beginner players. But I will talk a little bit about this more. Let me see, I have some few chat messages. So yeah, Sibal, I see your question now, and see also that my good friend Benji replied to you. He's in on everything. He helped me out a lot with modding this out. Basically, I took the simple Earth-like start. I grounded. I started it in creative mode to create the scenario. I just, hit Control X to delete my own base, so I won't have a medical room or anything to grind. You could do it to also some of the enemy bases, but I didn't bother. Then I just used backspace to commit suicide, and then you start with your suit. You should, the end result mode, you should respawn with the MBF component on you. This doesn't work yet, so we'll just add it later by using creative mode just for a quick second. So yeah, let's do that now. Okay, so we want to make our camp here. I usually like to have a slope or a terrace, so it's very easy to climb up and down, because again, if you played a lot of space scenarios, you're used to using your jetpack. Your hydrogen lasts for a long time, and you use the jetpack all the time to get up and down. Here, it's not as easy. So okay, I would hit G right now, and as you can see, there is a new category. This is part of the mod. By the way, you can download the mod on the Steam Workshop. It's available right now. It's still a work in progress. I'll talk about what's missing, what I'm planning to add, what would be nice to have and stuff like that later on. But yeah, if you download the mod, you will see when you go to the toolbar config screen, or when you press the G button, and the G key, you'll see a 3D printer survival gun. When you click it, you will see all these familiar models, but you see they have slightly different name. They have the prefix MBF before. Again, MBF stands for monomolecular biofilament. So that's a new type of component that I added. I talked a little bit about it. So the first thing, of course, we'll want to build a platform to build everything else on top. And later we're going to need some solar panels, so I'm going to add this too. And a battery. And of course a medical room, which reminds me I haven't noticed it's my energy setting. And that's it for now. And let's just go like this. And I see that my energy is still above 85%, so we still have time. I think we should worry more about the sunlight in this case. And okay, so as you can see, the MBF armor block requires monomolecular biofilament, and I don't have that yet. I still don't know how to add items to your respawn. If someone has a clue on how to mod it, you want to drop a line in the chat or comment on my workshop page. I would appreciate that. What we're gonna do is just for a quick second, we're gonna enable creative mode tools, and then we're gonna hit the Shift 10, and we're going to look for monomolecular biofilament. I think you should start with 10,000 units. That's about 200 kilos worth of MBF. I thought it was super heavy, maybe too heavy, but my friend Benji reminded me that I'm using this spacesuit and it helps me carry stuff around, and that's why it uses energy. So we're going to drop it on the floor and pick it up. In this case, we're going to have to be fast, so it won't roll down the hill. And let's look at the icon, and you saw the model maybe. So yeah, I took a model out of someone else's mod. That would be Geneticus Gens Materials and Components mod. It's a really good mod. If you want to add materials, components, that's a good mod to try. Okay, I was noticing that the shadow of the mountain, as Tolkien would say, is creeping up on me. So yeah, that's going to be a little problem for us. Not too big of a problem, because when we're going to build the battery is going to start full. That's how batteries start. So we're still going to have some power to use a medical room and reboost our energy. So yeah, now that I have the MBF, I can pretty much... Ooh. Oh. Doggone. Damn it. I think we're in a creative mode. So yeah, I'm gonna reload the game now, and because I need to change yourself to oh no, I'm so stupid. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, Benji, you don't need to laugh on me on the chat. I am on survival. I forgot that I turned on the... I passed out completely. Never mind. So that's how it goes. Okay, so can use this loading time to talk about some other ideas with this mod. So first of all, I like it a lot better personally, the scenario of one person totally abandoned. Maybe the planet doesn't have any bases at all, nothing, and you somehow manage to build yourself up slowly and then leave the planet again, escape it. I think that's a really great scenario to play out. Much nicer than, for me, it's more challenging and more fun than just, attacking enemies and then looting their components. And another thing is, all these space sandbox games are really complex. I played Kerbal Space Program before I played Space Engineers, and both these games, if a friend hadn't shown me Benji, I guess you're getting a lot of kudos tonight. If you hadn't literally taken me by hand and we either play together online or do a share screen, and he'd tell me what's what and how to use everything, I'm not sure I would have the patience, or maybe I would just be, scared off by the amount of information that I need to process in order to play this game. So again, maybe something more like a Minecraft start. You don't start out survival mode in Minecraft with the redstones or complex items. You just go around the world like we are doing right now. And yeah, I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna add the MBF because we didn't save. Nice of you to remember. Another opportunity to look at the model. And we're going to pick it up. Now, before I forget, I'm going to disable, and we're going to save the game. Landed with MBF, wrong language, with MBF. I'm gonna save that. And yeah, so sorry about this whole delay. That's show business. So again, we're gonna hit the G key, go to the 3D printer, we're gonna MBF armor block, solar panel, battery. That's it for now, and a medical room. And for later, maybe an ore detector. It's also possible to create an MBF oxygen generator. So this mod would perfectly fit scenarios on non-Earth-like planet without atmospheres or without breathable atmospheres. So yeah, let's just make sure. Okay, so yeah, now that works. Now, about the 3D printer gun. So yeah, there's no two ways to go about it. Actually, the gun model, I haven't modded that in yet. So for now, I'm just using the regular old welder with the MBF. But sometime down the road, I'm gonna clone the welder item and use. I actually already have a nice model for it, for the 3D printer gun. But for playtesting purposes, we can just playtest it using the good old welder. So yeah, that's kind of not the platform I wanted to build, but it will do for now. So once you set your basic platform up, and again, these are armor blocks, but basically that's the easiest way to create floors, ceilings, anything like that. So now I have a platform that I can start something on, so let's just use that. Slowly but surely, I'm just going to weld it. So again, at the end result, I would not be holding this welder, I would be holding this nice 3D printer gun, that one that we saw before. As you see, I already have the model, but it's not in the game yet. And I think I'm going to use different sounds for the building process and probably different animation. The way I see it, or the way I imagine it, this monomolecular biofilament it attaches to air molecules, so it kind of inflates. So the final block should be lighter in mass, but the animation should be something like, I don't know, nanobots creating a blueprint or some gooey, formy, half liquidy stuff forming or something like that, and just to give it a little flavor and so player know it's another different technology. Some of you may notice that it takes me really fast to weld all these blocks. So yeah, I figured out since you basically shoot up nanobots from your 3D printer gun, and then the nanobots kind of create the model themselves, the process should be faster. So I just did half the times for all the MBF blocks. So they take just half the usual time it would take you to weld them with components. So okay, we have something, I guess. Not much, but let's try. Gonna create some solar panels. Whoa. Yes. I like my solar panels to be aligned with the top of the block. so I can weld them when I'm standing on the platform. And I guess this 2 or 3 is enough for now. So again, for those of you just watching this on Twitch right now, I'm just playtesting my mod of 3D printer gun that lets you create some essential blocks for survival without a planetary base. So this gun has models for solar panels, armor blocks, stuff like that, and it uses some sort of very high-tech filament, which I like to call the MBF or monomolecular biofilament. It's a cool sci-fi sounding name, I think. Yeah. So as far as playtesting goes, this is I already did so much more that I would be able to do if I started like this in a vanilla game without a ship or base. I pretty much would just have to walk around it. Even if I did stumble upon an ore deposit, I wouldn't have anything to do with the ores. I would have no refinery to turn them into ingots. Not to mention, I would have no assembler to put the ingots in and create components. Let's add a battery. Like I told you before, it's battery. Yeah, it's a yellow battery. That would be nice. And again, I'm just thinking about I would 3D print it over here. And okay, I wanna touch an issue which personally I thought about a lot before I created the mod, that maybe this is too powerful mod, because the game has a very nice assembly mechanic of building stuff with components, and now here I come and I say no, you can create identical components using just identical blocks, solar panels, whatever, just by using one component. So and maybe this can affect game balance and stuff like that. I thought about it a lot, and so I'm just going to build something else. I'm going to tell you more about it. A medical room would be nice right now. Let's make it white, and let's try and no, face it no. Yeah. So yeah, is this mod too powerful? Is introducing something like monomolecular biofilament to the game causes a balance issue? But the way I see it, first of all, as this mod would be played ideally, you start with a limited amount of MBF. And so basically, the amount that you start with should just be enough to build these essential blocks. You can't, if you try to build a lot of stuff, it will run out really quickly. And another thing is that for me, like the way I see it, the 3D printer gun holds the blueprint. So I created just these several, these are the small ones, these are the big blocks. So you can create thrusters, you can create large cargo containers, you can create reactors, you can create stairs, cockpits, or control station. You can create a small block-sized cockpit for your rover. But basically, there's a lot of stuff that you will have to learn and use. The regular assembly system, the current game mechanic, which is great if you have an assembler and refinery. So I think a beginner player would, this, what we did right now, say, oh, it's very nice. I build some items. I can understand about how to place stuff and then to weld it. And I said something about this mechanic now. I can also see that I can access stuff and change settings and learn what everything does. Yeah, and I didn't need to start with a complete base that has too many blocks on it, and I don't know what block does what and how to use them, and especially how conveyors work, and so there's a lot of stuff to learn as you go along, but I think this would create a much more pleasing and gradual learning curve that is also more fun. So yeah, now let's see if we're lucky. We're going to add an ore detector. Make it black. Let's just put it here. And we're going to hope that it's going to pick up some ore in this radius. If not, it's pretty much useless to us since it's not moving anywhere. And no, I don't see any ores right now. And I think it's functioning on our battery power. Oh, wrong door. So you see now I'm using the medical room to boost up my suit's energy. This actually means that we have electricity right now. The battery has power. The solar panels still produce some power. And yeah, so basically in this setup I can already survive. If nothing destroys these solar panels, they're going to keep recharging the battery. The medical room runs on the battery, so every time my suit energy will drop, I can replenish it. Plenty of daytime to replenish my battery. And yeah, so I can pretty much survive. I can't really do much else yet, but this is a whole lot more than you could do if you just started on a scenario like this in the vanilla game, without base or ship. So yeah, so actually we kind of have a little base right now. It's very basic. Let's see. I'm gonna add an antenna. Where is my antenna? There it is. So yeah, this and just put it here. You go near the ore detector. All you broadcasty things, you need to stay together. So yeah, I actually find out that the having an antenna won't make the ore detector range any bigger, which was kind of my initial hope when I tried it. It actually just let you broadcast the findings of the ore detector from its regular radius if you're in a shorter ship or something, but you know, even from a lore or a role-playing value, I added it so you could create, I don't know, you're stranded on a planet, you'd probably want to have an antenna. That did seem like something that should be in the survival kit. So yeah, but so I've added it, but unless you're playing with some friends online, which is always better in Space Engineers, and maybe you want to have, you know, contact with their base if they have one or something. So, but right now it doesn't really do anything, and I can create some ores. Some don't have any ores yet, but I can create an assembler and a refinery. But since we don't have any ores, it won't do much yet. So, but let's create an MBF refinery. Let's just put it. And okay, so that would be a good time to show you that. Oh, do this again. See, an MBF refinery requires 230 MBF. and then armor block requires 17 MBF, and a solar panel requires 786, and so on and so on. So these are not just random numbers. I actually try to think what kind of components would be harder to mimic with this kind of filament, would require much more material, and which are kind of simpler. And also, while I weld this refinery, I want to let you know about some of the additions I would like to add to this mod in order to make it just a little bit more nicer, and I want to say realistic, but it's kind of a sci-fi game, so it's definitely spacey and sciencey, but it's not really realistic. Ooh, my helmet was on. Oh, when we loaded the game, I didn't remove my helmet, and now look at me. I only have 24, almost 25% oxygen left in my tank, and if that should prove crucial in the future, I'm going to be in trouble. So yeah, there's a refinery. It's usable. So I was saying my plan, just to make it a little bit more realistic or fun, is that the final MBF blocks would be just a little weaker, just a little nerfed, and not work as well as the ones you build from components. Again, as a game mechanic, game balance sort of issue. So the refinery could be a little slower or less efficient, produce less ingots out of your ore. Sibel, actually, the truth is, I only tested it with one or two other mods, but there is no scripting, there is no changes to the source code. Basically, I just added some blocks and a new component, and I think you should be fine unless someone uses the same block names and I use in their mod, and I find it very unlikely. So, but and also this mod shouldn't do anything to your normal game. It's just in the mods folder. It doesn't touch anything in it. So you should be safe to try it. I'd be interested to know of any impressions you or anyone else might have. So yeah, I was saying I think I would have to nerf these blocks. So solar panel would just produce a little less electricity, and maybe the medical room would charge us a little bit slower. I would like to make all the objects lighter, since it does bother me that you start with a limited amount of volume of MBF, and then you create a lot more volume with it. Kind of, I have a internal struggle with the Isaac Newton inside me. But yeah, I think that if you say that this MDF somehow attaches air molecules, so this would be nice, because it would mean it would only work in where there is air, or if you have an oxygen tank. It wouldn't just work on space and vacuum, because it needs these air molecules in order to actually create more volume than you start with. So that's kind of a scientific explanation that I like. And it would also mean that the blocks would be lighter, so that wouldn't mean much right now, but when you build a rover, a ground vehicle, this would affect your center of mass. Maybe you'd have to drill down some rocks like this and make your rover heavier, just so it won't roll over, or that to optimize your center of mass. So I haven't done that yet. I'm not sure how to. I'm gonna have to check it out. But yeah, the end result should be a little nerfed versions, and preferably you They could look like the originals, but I'd like the, I don't know, the texture or something to have a little telltale that this is actually built by 3D printing using monomolecular biofilament. Okay, let's see now what we wanted to add before. Refiner we have, let's do an assembler. So yeah, this is actually my first mod, I think ever, especially a published one. Well, I did used to go into the folder of my games and look for stuff that you can change in XML, and you know, so basically some of the same principles apply. But yeah, and if you really want to know more about creating mods, so there's much better people out there. I'm really a beginner at modding Space Engineers and modding in general. But yeah, I would say that this playtest has been very nice. I would like to have some really beginners try it out, see if it's more friendly and more easy to grasp than understanding assembler and refinery and ores to ingots and ingots to components, and which is great. I love it. I play Space Engineers a lot, but again, I had help beginning. A friend was literally there with me, explaining me what's what and what should I do. Pick that up, stuff up, drill that, put it in here, go there. So I think that would make the experience easier. But what about our astronaut in a white suit here? How would he survive? So you can either do, you know, walk on foot. Just leave the base. Wait till your energy drops to about 50%. Try to find ores. Locate the orcs. Mark them in your GPS. And come back to your base. Probably better to build some kind of Land Rover, would make it easier. So you can actually do that. So I'm not going to get into that right now, but you can actually build, you have all the parts that you need to build a nice rover, even small cockpit, small ore detector, so you can basically use it to scout around and find ores easily. And you can even add small cargo containers, which I didn't add to the large blocks. Yeah, because I assumed, you know, not having connectors and conveyors and having to carry everything by hand from container to container, just running around doing that's kind of yeah, I guess that's the pain and punishment of all beginner players, and I didn't want my mod to be a workaround. So yeah, you still have to do all of that, but you can put the ores that you find, you can store them in a small cargo container on your rover if you wish to build one. And I'm still debating if the materials, I mean the amount of MBF. Maybe if you want to build a base and a rover, you won't have enough materials, and you kind of have to learn that you have to grind something down in order to get back the materials. By the way, when you ground down an MBF parts, you get MBF back, just like that you would ground any part, you would get the components that build the part back. So that MBF uses the same principle. You can basically, you know, change your mind. Oh no, I'm going to just turn this assembler back into MBF. And yeah, so right now I set the starting amount to 10,000 units. If you do play with nearby enemies and cyberdogs, you will want to spend more MBF on building walls and maybe, you know, surround yourself build a wall. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful, and Mexico is gonna pay for it. Yeah, sorry for that. I had to. Every time I hear the word wall now, it pops into my head. So yeah, you can see that we started out with 10,000 of these, and we're down to 3,000 when we build a very small scale starting outpost. So yeah, this MBF is by no means a magic material that you let you build anything and everything forever and ever. Even now, I think if I'm gonna build a rover, I may need to strip down or grind down some more blocks here in order to complete it. This would require some more playtesting to, uh, to know what just the right amount to have the scenario challenging and not too easy. So yeah, this is pretty much it for now. You can play this mod if you want to. It's available on my Steam Workshop. I'm gonna try and paste it on Steam now. Let's see. Do that on the other computer so you don't actually see this. You can just see. I like doing that poster. It was a lot of fun. Uh, I did it with the help of another one of my friends, Mo, which is probably the other viewer on this Twitch broadcast. So, hello, Mo. How they hanging? Yeah. Let's see. My content and workshop items and 3D printer gun. So yeah, I'm gonna paste the URL in the Twitch chat right now. Just wrote download with 7 typos. Let's fix that. Okay, so yeah, this has been my playtest presentation of the Monomolecular Biofilament 3D Printer Gun Survival Edition. Don't leave space without it! Dum dum dum. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I welcome any feedback, questions, comments. Just speak your mind. Yeah. So bye bye, and in the morning, everyone.